guys, it's Gabby, and today I'm going to be doing the Hamilton book tag. And the reason that I'm doing this tag is because the Tonys were last weekend, and if you do not know, because you did not watch, Hamilton was the big winner of the Tonys that night. They took home 11 out of the 16 awards that they were nominated for, including Best Musical, which is a huge, huge accomplishment. And I'm very proud to honor all of the cast and the crew and everyone behind this whole production with this tag. And if you've somehow managed to not have heard of Hamilton, which how could you not? You'd have to be living under a rock. Hamilton is a musical sensation that is sweeping the nation. It tells the story of Alexander Hamilton through rap and R&B music, which is just so fantastic and so unique. Another thing that's really interesting about it, and something that I really enjoy, is that most of our founding fathers in history are Caucasian, and Hamilton takes all of those figures and are casted by people who are either Hispanic or African American, but they're people of different ethnicities, which I think is so unique and so great to just bring in different cultures into telling our history. And it's just such a fantastic musical and just something that is just so unique and so amazing. And I definitely recommend that you listen to the soundtrack, which I will be linking down below. But definitely make sure you get on the train for this because it is such a fantastic production. So like I said, I'm going to be doing the Hamilton book tag today. The original tag was created by Maureen Keevy, and I will link her video down below. But I'm also going to link Christine from Pullin' Bananas Books video because that is the first version of the tag that I watched, and the editing that goes into that is just really amazing, and it's such a fantastic video and a fantastic interpretation of this tag, and I'm going to link that down below as well. So if you're interested in checking both of those out, definitely check all of the links down below. But without further ado, I'm going to get started with this tag. The Room Where It Happens, a book world you would want to put yourself into. For this, I chose Cassandra Clare's Shadow World from the Mortal Instruments series, and the reason that I picked this world is not because it's my favorite world, although that's partially a reason, just not the biggest reason. The main reason why I picked the Shadow World is because it's the biggest world out there in YA that I could at least think of, and I think that's one of the things that makes it so exciting and would make it so much fun to explore, is because you have all 6 books from the Mortal Instruments series, you have the 3 books from the Dark Artifices, you have the 3 books from the Infernal Devices, and you have all of the spin-offs. So you have like the Bane Chronicles, and then you have the Tales of the Shadowhunter Academy. This world is just massive and beyond compare to any other worlds in YA, and so I think this one would be the most fun because there would be so much to explore and so much to delve into, rather than just like 3 books and that's it, or like 3 books and a few spin-offs. This world is just so big and so lengthy, and it would be so much fun to explore. The Schuyler Sisters, an underrated female character. For this, I picked Katie Grant from Illuminae. I do not have my copy of Illuminae because I'm loaning it to a friend, so I picked Gemina, but Gemina is not told from Katie's point of view, so that's just a quick caution out there for all of you who have not heard about the sequel yet. So the reason that I picked Katie is because I feel like so many people, when they talk about these books, they focus more on the way it's written, in the sense that it has like lots of pictures and detail and different types of documents that tell the story, and that's something that's more interesting to them rather than the actual characters. But Katie is such a unique and such a fierce character, and especially towards the end of this book when she's like basically sacrificing her life for everybody else. That's something that is really resilient and really brave and really special, and I feel like a lot of people really don't think about that much because they're so concerned with the book and how it's made up, and that's something that's more interesting rather than the characters and the plot itself. So I think that more people should talk about Katie and her story. A character that goes after what they want and doesn't let anything stop them. For this, I picked a choice that wouldn't be so typical, and that is The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. Hazel in this book is so determined to get to Amsterdam that she is not going to let anything or anyone stop her. She doesn't let her illness stop her. She doesn't let the amount of money stop her. She doesn't allow like the time difference and like the amount of time that it would take for her to travel and get there and everything. There is nothing in this world that can possibly stop her. And I think that's so great to see that from a contemporary character, especially when it's coming to something so relatable as meeting an author, which is something that a lot of us would drive miles and miles for. So it's something that's really relatable to the book community, and it's also something that I really like about Hazel and how she's so persistent to meet this author. Stay alive, a character you wish was still alive. So I am going to be spoiling parts of Mockingjay in this section. So if you have not read Mockingjay yet, I am going to put my hand up and you can mute the video. And then once my hand goes down, you can come back. So the character that I wish was still alive was Finnick Odair from Mockingjay. Like, his character just was such an unnecessary death. Like, there's a lot of deaths in books where you could, like, figure out, like, yeah, I understand why that character had to die. Like, there was a point in their death and it signified, you know, something that happened in the story. But Finnick's death is so unnecessary and so heartbreaking and so unfair, and I don't like it. I don't like it at all, and it's just, like, the worst, like, character death for me in a while, and I wish that he hadn't died. The most heartbreaking end to a relationship you've ever heard. For this, I'm going to be spoiling parts of Me Before You, so if you have not read that book yet, definitely make sure you check it out, and I will put my hand up, and when it goes away, you will know that I'm done with the spoiler. So, in Me Before You, Louisa and Will's relationship ends when Will commits assisted suicide, and he ends his life. And that's just a really sad way to end a relationship, considering, you know, he could have still lived on and he could have been more willing to be open to trying this new life and finding ways to make it enjoyable. But I understand why he died and I understand the whole situation, but I wish he hadn't died. That's another one. Like, this is like 4 and 5. They're like pretty hand in hand, but I wish Will hadn't died. I would have liked to have seen more like of him, and that's just kind of a sucky way for the relationship to end. But like, I understand why it was done. That's a sucky way to end a relationship. Fight and win the war for your love, for your praise. You'll Be Back, sassiest villain. For this, I chose Dorothy from Dorothy Must Die, and the reason that I picked her is because she's probably the sassiest villain out there when it comes to really any book I've ever read. And I think that makes it so unique is because Dorothy would typically be considered the hero, not the villain. So in this story, when she is made the villain, I think that just makes her really sassy, and like, there really is no other description for this rather than she's just a really sassy character. And so her being the villain and being sassy, it works. There's really no explanation here. The Reynolds Pamphlet, a book with a twist you didn't see coming. I'm just gonna leave these here because no. Non-Stop, a series you marathoned. For this, I'm going to pick the most recent series that I marathoned, and that is the Grisha trilogy by Leigh Bardugo. I marathoned these last month at the beginning of May, and I really enjoyed marathoning them because they're the type of books, they're just like once you finish the first one, you want to get the second one, and then after finishing the second one, you want to get the third. So it's a really great series to marathon. So if you have not read it yet, I would definitely recommend marathoning them just because they're like the perfect books to marathon, because it's not like a long, massive series where it just seems like you're reading book after book after book after book. It goes by really quickly, and I was able to finish these books within the course of a week, so I'm very glad that I marathoned them. Satisfied, favorite book with multiple point of views. For this, I picked a book that is not out yet, but I definitely recommend you check it out once it's released, and that is The Female of the Species by Mindy McGinnis. This book comes out September 20th. And the reason I picked this book is obviously because it has multiple point of views. It has 3. And the reason that I picked this book, another big reason, is because it is done really well. The point of views in this book are just fantastic, and they flow really well, and they're very fluid, and they tell the story completely. There are a lot of times with books with multiple point of views that can be very choppy and very inconsistent, and it just kind of feels like you're not getting the full story, and it's hard to kind of figure out what's going on. Whereas this, the full story is told, it makes sense, and it's just a fantastic book to read if you're looking for a story that has multiple point of views and does it well, because it's definitely this book.
Who lives, who dies, who tells your story?
Who lives, who dies, who tells your story. So this is a book or series that you feel like will be remembered throughout history. So I'm going to do a series and a book for this because both of these are impactful to me, and I want to include them in this because I definitely think that there are books that are going to be remembered. So for the series, I picked the Hunger Games trilogy by Suzanne Collins, and the reason that I picked these is because this was the first series that I read that was YA and got me into YA reading, so it's very impactful to me, and I believe that with the combination of the books and the movies, this is going to be something that a lot of YA readers get their children to read, and then like their children are passing on. It'll just be books that continue on for generations because they were so impactful to us, and so I feel like that'll be something that then allows us to pass it on to future generations. But I really love these series, and I feel like this is the book series that a lot of people started in when it came to YA reading, which is another reason why I think it's going to be so impactful and it'll stand the test of time. For a book, I picked The Fault in Our Stars by John Green, and the reason that I picked this book is because it's the first classic I've read in YA literature, and also just this book had so much hype when it was coming out and when the movie was coming out and just everything. And I think this is a story that a lot of people love and a lot of people connect to, although it's not talked about on BookTube much anymore. It really is a beautiful, beautiful story, and I feel like more people need to bring back the hype, but I feel like this is a book that will stand the test of time. So that is pretty much it for the Hamilton book tag. Thank you guys so much for watching me lip sync to Hamilton and talk about some of my favorite books. I really enjoyed doing this tag, so if you have not done it yet, I tag you. Make sure you comment your link down below. If you do the tag, I will definitely give it a watch. But if you don't want to do the tag, comment down below what your answers would be to some of these questions because I would love to know. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Goodbye!
I'm gonna know your name. What's your name? Alexander Hamilton. My name is Alexander Hamilton. There's a million things I haven't done, but just you wait.